I'm going to talk about something I love today, and it's filmmaking, but more specifically, it's niche, micro, low-budget filmmaking. But first, you're probably wondering, what's up with the shot of the coffee on the stove? What's going on with the air fryer? Well, it's to get us in the mood for today. Today's film we're going to talk about, it's all about hardship. So with the stove, I don't have a microwave, so you gotta, you throw the coffee in the stove, it burns the crap out of it, but life goes on. And then the brioche in the air fryer, well, simply put, it gets a stat bonus once it leaves the air fryer. It's delicious. From Costco, I plug it all the time. Go out and get yourself some French brioche from Costco. Do it now. Anyways, today we're going to talk about a film called Legionnaire. Now, it's a lesser-known Jean-Claude Van Damme film, but I think it's a gem. There are great action sequences. There's an interesting crew behind it, probably some people that you've seen their work. There's a lot to love about this, and today, we're going to explore it. The French Foreign Legion, if you're not aware, is a special group and has a history, a unique history in with France, and it's has this romantic idea of that you can escape, you get a new life, a new identity when you join them. And so I think the idea of the film is a pretty interesting one, right? It's a complex question. It's a compelling question when you think about what you would do for a new life, what you would do for a new opportunity. Would you exchange hardship for that opportunity? It's worth exploring. I think it's an interesting topic. And today we're going to jump into the film. We're going to look at some of the people behind the film and what they're up to, their career, and a little bit about, see what we can discover about the film. So here we go. Let's jump right in. Do you have a dubious past but long for a life of adventure, of exotic locations, danger? Have you ever wondered what life could be like if you could just start over? Well, you can with the French Foreign Legion. Now, as I'm saying those lines, I can't help but to think of that Blade Runner scene with a blimp going by, and they're advertising a new life in the off-world colonies.
Awaits you in the off-world colonies. The chance to begin again in a golden land of opportunity and adventure.
There's a weird connection that I have to that film and to this film, because I think that there's a connection between hardship and journey, or hardship and a new opportunity. We have IMDb up, and right out the gate, we have Peter McDonald right here, the director on this. Now, he is a person who has had a very long career in the movie business. You might not be familiar with his name, but I think you probably have seen his work. Let's check it out. So he's known for Rambo 3, and there's an X-Men movie here, but then you start getting into his camera work, and you're thinking, oh, wow, okay, so Batman, Labyrinth, Legend, director photography, helicopter unit of Rambo 2. So to me, when I see this, I think this is someone that was well established in the industry, someone that directors could bring in that they knew he could be trusted and he could get the job done for what they needed him to do in the second unit. Sheldon was one of the writers on this film, on Legionnaire, and I was looking through his credits. He has Lionheart here, which has a cool connection to Legionnaire, because in that film, Van Damme plays once again a French Foreign Legion soldier who then leaves his post to go to the U.S. I think, yep, I remember seeing this. So Sheldon has a background in the military, and you can't help but to think maybe, that influences his writing. He's done quite a lot of Van Damme movies. Bloodsport, which many people argue is Van Damme's best film. And here are some of our cast from the film. So Douglas Milsom was listed on here as the cinematographer for it. And he has a wide range of credits too. We have Full Metal Jacket here, the very popular Robin Hood film from the 90s. And it looks like he's still working. There are many films that were shot in the last year or two. Like the other guys, he also has a connection to several, looks like many Van Damme films. I wonder what it was like when you had Peter McDonald, the director on it, who has a very rich background in the camera department and doing second unit work. What it might have been working with him as a cinematographer. I think it's fair to say that many of the people that we've looked at so far on this film really knew a lot about filmmaking and have been doing it for many years. Now, okay, so the second unit director on this has a connection to many of the other people. They all might be friends. Maybe that's all of the people out of the UK that had a close bond, because I can see some very similar films. A theme here with Robin Hood here, Empire Strikes Back. We also have the Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, Charles Wood, production designer on this one, once again has some connections to some films that we keep seeing over and over again. The Guardians of the Galaxy, some other Marvel films here. After Legionnaire, he did quite a few production designer jobs. It looks like towards the beginning of the 2010s, he started picking up the really big action films. Here is Irene Lam. Some pretty big credits to her name. She was the casting director. Now, let's look at some of the producers. We have Gregory Waritz. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he was a producer on this. He has some interesting credits to his name with being the Legionnaire, The Crow Salvation. I haven't seen that. New Rose Hotel is it's a difficult film. It's a difficult film to watch. I really want to like New Rose Hotel. He was a producer on it. It looks like has Asia Argento in it. I want to like it. I really do. I just can't. It's got some cyberpunk themes. Let's talk about some producer bits now. I have this Variety article up that I found. It's from all the way back in 97. And in this article, it says that they have secured the rights for a $35 million picture. So there's a bit of a discrepancy in the budget I'm noticing from Legionnaire. And I really don't know what to believe. So this one says 35 million. And then when we go to IMDb, the box office says this was a 20 million. Now, it could be at the time, maybe some funding fell through. Maybe some things changed. Maybe the number was inflated to begin with. But even for this to be estimated, that's a pretty big discrepancy. Another interesting producing bit is that it looks like it was filmed all in Morocco. There are some scenes earlier in the film that it might have been in France. I don't know, but I'm not seeing anything called out specifically on IMDb. That doesn't mean it wasn't filmed there, but perhaps they kept it all in Morocco. Now, I did some digging around to try to find some of these locations, some of these forts that were in ruins, because they blow up a lot of stuff in this film towards the end when they are really launching some bombs into the base. I can't see anything, but I can't imagine they just blew up some of the sets they might have had built at Atlas Studios, which is a very well-known, established, legendary studio in Morocco. Another interesting bit is we have the filming dates here from October 97 through December 97. Now, that checks out. Typically, movies are 3 months or 90 days. One interesting thing to think about is if they chose this for it to be the safest to film in Morocco. And what I mean by that is the least amount of storms and or potentially the least hot time frame to film in Morocco. I imagine the producers were well aware of the obstacles that they face, not only from their own observation or just working with a local producer to help them out there. It's the exchange of how hot it's going to be during the day to filming there cooler, but having the least amount of sunlight. you always have to weigh out these things and make the best decision possible given what you're working with. Legionnaire is not a perfect film, but then again, what is? What's a perfect film? As someone who does produce, I like to think about the positive things, what the filmmakers were able to achieve with what they had. Filmmaking, in a sense, is a sequence of decisions made by one person or maybe a group of people. And as a viewer, you are watching the sequence of decisions, sequence of creative decisions. And sometimes they're bad, sometimes they're really good. Sometimes they make you feel things. And that's what's so powerful about filmmaking. And when you look at a film that has a smaller budget, you realize that they're human. They're humans that are making these films, and they had to have, you look at things of what they were able to achieve rather than like what they weren't able to. For Legionnaire, when I look at the film, I see that there's a lot of potential complications, of filming in Morocco, of filming in the desert, of filming internationally. And there are action sequence. There are a lot of sets to consider, a lot of different sequences in the film, and a pretty large cast. And then there's a lot of atmosphere, a lot of background talent, and coordinating all that is very difficult. I have been racking my brain on how to finish this video. How do I wrap up what I want to say? Honestly, I don't have the perfect words, but I think there is a strong correlation between the journey of your heart and of your mind with the hardship you face in life. Through hardship, you learn to value the things that you have, similar to how a minimalist strips away everything they don't need and just distill it down into just a few possessions. Maybe that's the message. Maybe that's what I want to say. When you think about the soldiers, not only in the movie but in real life, you think about what they had to give up. And so the obstacles that you think are in your way, that are blocking you from achieving your goals, maybe they're not as big as you think they are. And maybe you can let go of more things that you thought you couldn't. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye for now.